This is the Zapata Brand Podcast, Quick Hits Edition, with George Zapata, with Coach Diz, and Jersey Jay-Z.
Well, welcome to the Quick Hits here Sunday night. Boy, bad night for me again. Once again, not doing so hot here with my picks, but I called out Jersey Jay-Z and Coach Diz here from Williamsport and Dumont, respectively. They join us now here on the podcast. Guys, what's happening?
What's going on?
I don't know. We got Jersey Jay-Z all the way to the right, Coach Diz right in the middle. We're going to switch it a little bit here in 1 second to make the view a little bit easier. There you go. It's a little bit easier. Once again, my picks. Wow. Once again, I am 0 for the world here with picks. And I told you guys, I said, I don't take my picks because they're atrocious. I'm 0 for 2 in the last couple. And you guys are right on. More so, Coach Diz, he said it would go unanimous decision, but it would be a whitewash. And you were right on that one. You were right on that one. What did you expect, Coach?
So it's what I expected, but what I didn't expect was Charlo wasn't going to even use the jab. He didn't move or anything like that. I was surprised. Before the fight, I was looking at him. I was like, something's not on with him. Something's not right.
With who?
No fighters aren't scared, but I just think he was in, that big stage, and he just did not look right.
Who did you say there was something wrong with?
Charlo.
Okay.
He was on the big stage, and I think it was too big for him.
Yeah, I to be honest, I didn't know what the hell happened. I really didn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jersey, what did you think of the fight?
I saw the fight. I was not impressed with Charlo. Canelo dominated the entire time. I mean, he was just too strong for him, I think.
He looked. I think Coach Diz was right. He looked almost scared, like he just was looking to survive, and really made my pick look horrible. It was just so bad. I couldn't believe what was going on. It just was a one of the things that I thought. I was like, why take that fight if you're not going to even try? I mean, it didn't even seem like he tried.
No, he didn't. And the thing was, Canelo, what he was doing was he was hitting the left arm and just the shoulder down by the arm, so he couldn't do the jab. I was watching it and I was like, damn, he's very smart. He's hitting the elbow, so he couldn't throw the hook, and taking that away. But Charlo didn't even move. He wasn't even moving. And when Charlo went down, it reminded me like a Cotto, just taking a knee, let me regroup. But it was too late.
I think it was too little, too late for him. He didn't know what. I think he just kind of packed it in. Really, I think it was by like the second round.
Yep.
I think
so. Where do you think Canelo goes next, George?
Canelo? I think Canelo is going to fight David Benavidez. I think that's actually the only fight that I think he can take right now, because where else are you going to go? Bud's too small. I think. I think what you saw right there was Terrence Crawford is too small for Canelo Alvarez. I thought maybe, possibly, okay, skill-wise, if he had slipped a little bit, I don't think he slipped. I don't.
No, and the thing is Canelo, when he moved up in weight, he did it very well, and he carried his weight all the way up. So he knows how to fight people that are smaller, that are a little, that are going up in weight, and he can, overpower them like he was doing with Charlo.
Yeah, I don't know about. I don't think Bud's coming up to fight him. No. This is why would you? You're undisputed at 147. You had a great fight. The only thing that could happen to Crawford, it'd be worse. It'd be worse, because I think he'd have a tough time with Charlo. But then again, my picks they're horrible. My picks are horrible. I just think it's one after the other.
I think that Bud would probably be a lot quicker, and his IQ in the ring is a lot better than Charlo. But again, the size would make a big difference.
Oh, so that begs the question: if Charlo couldn't hurt Canelo, there's no shot that that Crawford hurts Canelo. This is not going to happen.
No.
Canelo kept cutting off the ring and just kept coming at him, and I wasn't impressed. Like I said, Charlo did nothing. They had no jab, and I thought he was going to be knocked out in the 7th round when he took the knee. I thought it was going to be over then.
I think he took the knee just for the hell of it to say, "All right, I got to get out of this," because it was really bad. That was really bad. When I saw, I said, "Man, he's just getting his ass kicked all from over to post. It wasn't even close."
Nope.
Yep.
And I mean, where do you go for if you're Charlo? I think you go back to your weight, maybe fight Crawford.
That's what he did say. He said he was going to go down in weight. He's going to go back down. But the thing was, before the fight, he was saying he's going to do this, he's going to do that. Then he was giving all the credit to, Canelo, saying, he's a monster, he's a beast, this and that. He just did not look confident in himself. And like I said, I just think the stage was too big and the IQ of the ring. Also, another thing was, I do think the layoff did do something to him.
Yeah. He wasn't a guy who was so active that he needed to fight as much. But I mean, when you're fighting that, I was impressed with Canelo. I got to tell you, I didn't think he'd have that much left in the tank, and he did. That's what shocked me. I did not think he was going to have that much left in the tank. I mean, did you see anything different than that? Maybe I'm missing something.
I think it was right on what Jersey said last time. Canelo did say he was hurt his last 3 fights. He had a wrist injury.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think ultimately that Canelo fights Benavidez as one of his last fights? Because it looks like that's about all he's got.
I think Benavidez it's really close to reaching agreement with DeAndre.
Oh, DeAndre, I think is going to get killed. Yeah. I don't think that guy's a good fighter at all. Not that he's not a good fighter. I think he is undefeated, but I don't think he's in that class. He hasn't fought anybody at all.
Not at all.
At all. So
I could probably see Caleb Plant probably fighting
fighting
Charlo.
Who? Charlo. Okay. I don't think Caleb Plant's going to go back down. Why would he go back down?
No, I think if there's no fight with Bud, probably just stay up there, catch weight, maybe.
Yeah, no, I definitely think he's fighting Bud next. I mean, what else could you possibly do?
Did you see what Bud tweeted out?
No.
He was like, Charlo, you were disgraced. Basically, you were sorry. You look sorry in a ring.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that, but I mean, he's just. I mean, Canelo is a different animal there. I mean, everything that I thought would be his disadvantage was his advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a stat that said that Canelo landed, I think it was 42 out of body shots compared to Charles 11.
Wow.
So, I mean, you can see he was so dominant the whole fight.
That alone. I mean, he really, but he was out from like round 1 on.
Yes.
There was a guy who actually gave him 2 rounds.
Yeah,
I didn't think he gave him 2 rounds.
I think 2 judges gave him 2 rounds.
That's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. I mean, at this, what the hell? I mean, it wasn't even close to that. Well, let's wrap that up in the books because that's 0 for 2 for me. No more picks, I think, on my end. I think I'm just going to rely on you guys.
I think you're suspended for a little bit. I think you're suspended, and my ankle's a little messed up, so I had to give myself some time to get ready and go.
What the hell happened?
I was walking to my car, and my left foot happened to step in the middle where the grass and the curb meet, and I twisted my ankle, and oh geez, I caught myself. I was stumbling. I look like Zab Judah all over the place.
Oh shit! Yeah, well, it's typical you for that day. Well, then you come here. You trained coach. You trained with Leo, right?
I tried my best. I mean, I wasn't moving as much, but
right.
I
do
was
that
still.
Right.
Yep.
And then I text you. Where are you? The bagel belt broke.
It didn't just break. It snapped.
It flipped over the thing, the wheel that pulls it. Just typical of the day. Then we did all the dough. We did every single flour bag I had, and we're still short.
Because Bloom gets a little text late at like 2:30. Hey, we need this many dozen.
Well, didn't you just fix the bagel belt?
Yeah, it just got. Well, I mean, we did. We thought we did. It's just like it just was one of those things where a lot to do. There's so much to do.
Yeah.
And you have to get all this other stuff, and we got all this stuff that we got to talk about stuff that's going on in the next couple of days.
One of the things that George and I did, I don't know, Jay-Z, if you saw the picture, setting up the front for the in-house podcast live studio chat.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice.
Well, here, and that's going to lead us into our next thing. We have what we're thinking of doing is, and I don't know, Jay-Z, if you can figure this out for us. We were thinking of maybe having a couple StreamYards, mostly StreamYards through the duration of the year.
Okay.
And then a few times a year, we have a big name to come in, and we'll have it in studio, and then have a meet and greet out in the front of the bagel shop set up. You can get about 100 people in.
Yep.
Tickets, $20, $25, right around there. They could meet, they could greet, they could sign autographs, take pictures, whatever it is. And I think that we can do that. I mean, we have Anthony Ruggiano squared away. He'll be coming in here in early January. Rita Gigante is in 2 weeks.
Yep.
There's supposed to be a story dropping tomorrow, I think, for her her appearance here. That will drop. Then I think we go from there. I have a couple interviews this week with a couple of people. I have a guy who's a multi-millionaire business guy. I have a guy in the following week with Eaton Park Hospitality, president CEO of that, and I have Tony Atlas. I got to get a hold of him. Those three. I'd like to do Mike Dowd if we can come to an agreement.
Okay.
Come in studio. It's just there's a lot of stuff going on. I was talking to Diz earlier about a lot of stuff with the business. We have to move. We have a bunch of moving parts that we have to make sure what finances this podcast is taking care of it, because we made 98 cents this past week. 98 cents for the YouTube. So that we have to get that all in. So why I'm saying that is, if you guys who are watching this or listening to the podcast or whatever, you guys could subscribe, like, there are super chats, there are super thanks, whatever it is, to get to fund this a little bit with the revenue. That all goes back to the podcast. It doesn't go in our pockets. Coach Diz, Jersey, you all do this for free. You guys are doing it just because you like to do it. But bringing those guests here cost us money. They do. And what I found today is I might be doing too much work.
Yep.
I might be doing too much work at the shop, and it's costing me more than it is bringing in the revenue. So all that I'm doing, it might be easier for me to cut back, and I would still make the same amount, and I would cut off the expenses as to where they are. I think that's our best way to go. It also gives me more time to do this.
Yep.
Then I bring in the guests, and I can bring them here, and I get, because Jersey, I don't think you understand how much goes into the back end of this, because you're not here.
Not there. Yeah.
So I mean, the back end being like, okay, we got to have this done. The studio's got to be perfect. You got to have the lighting situated. There's a lot in the back there. Then on that other end, you have Rich doing the cutting it up, putting it together, the editing. So it takes a long time.
I was talking to Rich today because he was at the training with Leo, and Leo had a photographer there and stuff like that. He said the Rita interview took him a long time.
Yeah, but there was also a lot of extra stuff. There was a lot of extras. Did say that. There was a lot of extras in there. Like, normally, if we can do one edit, 1 or 2 edits, it's fine. But what I will say is the software that I edit on changed their whole thing. I can't just take it from StreamYard, download it into the software. It just went away literally yesterday. So I'm trying to figure it out how to do it, and I can't get it straight. There's a couple people that I've reached out to also in the next couple days that I'm going to get in touch with trying to get that guy on who jumped off the Golden State Bridge, or what is it?
Golden Gate Bridge.
Kevin Hines, I think his name is.
Kevin Hines, yeah.
That guy's story is crazy.
And I mean, I reached out to him. Jersey reached out first, and then I reached out. But the thing was, he said, yeah, send us, let's get it going, and this and that. We know he's busy. He is busy, but
yeah, man, that guy, I'd love to ask him. There's a million questions I'd like to ask him about.
We got the mayor coming on too.
The mayor's coming up. He's coming up.
I think the 16th.
The 16th of October. He's here. Yeah, he's gonna be the 16th of October. He was gonna do it in studio, but then we're doing a StreamYard. which is actually not bad.
It's better.
It's way better right now. But what I will say, Anthony Ruggiano is going to do a meet and greet. He's coming in to do a Mike Tyson, Mike Franchise, and he's doing like they're doing like a tour somewhere at the Beacon Theater.
Yeah.
And then he's going to come over Jersey. You'll pick him up, bring him here. We'll do a meet and greet, do whatever he has to do, then head back into New York. But on that day, we're trying to get a special guest to StreamYard in, do virtual questions with the audience, and he's a major guest. And that if we can hit that one, that kind of puts us in a territory we wanted to be in, to be quite honest with you. Jay-Z, what are the events coming up that are in the area that in your area that you're going to be attending?
Well, I'm going to be October 7th. I'm going to be with Greg and Lucia at the Apollo Gym in Edison, New Jersey. And there's a bunch of MMA fighters going to be there. Lee Priest will be there.
Is it a
Jay-Z, who's Lee Priest? I've heard of him, but I really didn't.
He's a bodybuilder from the 90s.
Okay.
Very popular. He's really one of the short. He was in Olympia. He's actually one of the only people to actually beat Ronnie Coleman in one of the.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Priest did?
Yeah, he did, but it wasn't Olympia. It was in a different show. But he will. He's going to be there. They're doing a seminar where they're talking. But
is this a convention?
No, it's not. They're doing like an autograph signing seminar at a gym, and afterwards, Greg and me and all of us are going to hang out and go eat. But these guys are all willing to just jump on a call with us and say hello.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I think that would. I'd love to do that.
Greg will be there. Like I said, Lee Priest, Jimmy the Bull. All of them will just jump on.
What's Greg been up to? I haven't heard from him in a while.
Greg's been very busy with a couple of shows. He's been doing a lot of things. He's been filming, and then I've been trying to get up to meet up with him, but he's been a little bit busy. So,
have you seen him at all?
I haven't seen him. I just text him. I text his girlfriend more than him.
Okay. Well, is he just busy?
He's just busy. They were doing filming something for another A&E or something.
Wow.
I was talking to George today, and I said, I was thinking, every milestone, because we are, congratulations, at 600 subscribers. We did get that today.
Exactly 600. Exactly.
But 600. Maybe every year or 6 months, do an anniversary. Where are you now? Since the last
we were looking at the calendar. And I was like, man, in 2 months, we've gone from just putting it out there to see what would happen to Greg coming on, to Rita coming on, to, we've gone leaps and bounds. 600 subscribers. We're like 300 watch hours away from 4,000.
Wow.
And I didn't think that would be possible. I didn't think anybody would listen to this. Anybody. No. It's just like, what the hell? I mean, the shit stories that we have between our lives and the craziness that we have, I didn't think anybody would listen, but obviously they're listening, they're subscribing, which is very, very important. That's vital for us to do. It really is. I think one of the things that I wanted to bring up also was the interesting things that are coming down the pipe for our new studio here, where we had a kind of like a mind meeting here, me and Diz. We're thinking of putting a studio together where we could have 2 or 3 studios and even rent it out and put stuff on there. And I think that's a good idea. It's just getting the stuff together. It's hard to do, but it's like something that it should be our goal to get to.
Yep.
But starting, and I tell everybody, just starting this was the hardest part, was just pressing record.
Yep.
Because we did everything else, and as we're going, we're adding the other stuff to it, the other elements. But I think we have to have an idea as to where we're going. So my thought was, how about we do something where we're leaning towards a certain area, whether it's bodybuilding, fitness, MMA. That's all. I think that can all be intertwined. And then I do my business stuff, during the week or what have you. But we have to have a day where I want to make it together, where we can do these quick hits, because this is actually one of the more popular ones. And Jay-Z, one of the things that you had said is that a lot of people are asking you questions.
Yep.
But I didn't know if you had any questions that you had prepared. I don't know.
I did have questions. And actually, Diz, do you have any up there? I mean, I sent it to you.
I don't.
I do. I actually do. One of the questions was sent to me about when would I feel it's right to stop a fight?
Yes.
And when would you know and stuff like that?
Which could have been done yesterday.
It could have been done yesterday. It could have been done about a month ago with the Spence fight too, as well.
Yeah.
But I think, fighters, they're different. They're a different animal. They go in. You're with them, for hundreds of rounds through sparring, through this and that. So you have an idea of, how they don't look good, if they don't look good, right when you're walking to the ring, you'll know. But one of the things that I would always do is 2 to 3 rounds before I would want to stop it. I would say probably 2 rounds before I'll say, look, man, you're not showing me anything. You're not showing me anything. Show me something. And then if he comes back and he's not doing anything, I'm just going to say, look, I'm going to give you about a minute. And if you don't throw punches or just do something, I'm going to stop the fight. It's hard because, you spend so much time with them. You're basically you're the family. You spend more time than their family during that time. So it is very hard. Sometimes you take it hard. The trainer is supposed to protect the fighter. So when you're in there, because the fighter's going to just, he'll go out on the shield. George, he'll go out on the shield. No fighter.
Do you think there's a time where a trainer goes in with thinking like, I don't know, he's the one who's in the ring. He's like, yeah, he's fine. I see that more than I do the other side.
And you know what, though? I do see that with certain ones. I do see that. I'm not going to name them, but one that was great with stopping the fight, and he had the fighter first. His health and his protection was Buddy McGirt. He was always.
Well, Buddy McGirt stopped the fight that I saw with that guy dying.
Yep.
Well, he died in the ring, but they brought him back. He's since doing life in prison. He had something happen. He's doing life in prison. He got all jacked up from that fight. He was never the same. Something happened,
But Buddy McGirt is great with just stopping and being there for the fighter.
And you know what? I think they should have little like things in the corner. That's like, remember the interview I had with Stitch? He said that Darrell said to him, he's like, he's like, nope, that's it.
Like a little cue.
I had that with Chris. I said,
now, did you stop the fight with Chris? Because he was, it wasn't the best of fights.
I should have, but I would have stopped it in the next round. Okay. I think I would have stopped it because I didn't want him to quit.
Yeah.
It looks bad. It just looks bad. So I said, you know what? I'll take the heat for it. I'll take the heat. And I stop it and then whatever. But he got dropped about 10 seconds into remember they were doing the slow motion replay when they were coming back as they were coming out the ring, and he got dropped immediately.
He got right in the beginning of the round.
Yeah.
Was
it
it the 6th round?
No, it was the 4th. He was going into the 4th. He got dropped. And
that's the thing too. You don't want because with HBO, back then HBO, but Showtime and this and that, pay-per-view, they're right there. The cameras are right there, so they hear.
You're mic'd up. You're mic'd up too.
And that's the thing. You don't want to say, are you okay? And they say, oh, I don't want to fight. I'm done. But you can see in their eyes. You can definitely see in their eyes, and your fighters.
And also that limits your chances for another fight on HBO. Exactly. They're not going to go for that. They're just like, no, this guy quits or whatever. But,
and perfect thing was during COVID, the UFC. Remember that guy that he was like, I don't want to fight no more. I don't want to fight more. There was no fans in the stadium, so the cameras, everybody heard anything. The next day, UFC cut him.
Yeah, again, why one of the reasons why I have not the greatest taste in my mouth from UFC. Their job is to protect the fighters, and they also like that violence, like we all do. But you still have to understand these guys are the fighters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. George, I do have a question for you that a kid asked, and he said from Parsippany, New Jersey. His name is Kevin, and he said, "Bagel George, I love your insight on boxing. I'm thinking about doing a boxing gym or starting boxing myself. Can you tell me what the peekaboo style of boxing is? And it would be something easy to learn."
Well, Kevin, I'll tell you this: the peekaboo style is similar to what Mike Tyson does. It's taught by Custom Model, Kevin Rooney, Teddy Atlas up in Catskill. It is a very difficult style to do. Tyson got away with it because he was a heavyweight and he was so fast.
Yeah.
When you're that fast, you got an advantage. The problem with that style also is you have to be very fast and get away from it. It's very hard to do. And that's why there's only one Mike Tyson, because he can do it. And that's why he was successful at it. He did it against big heavyweights. Do I recommend that style? No. That's a style that is it's hard to mimic. You know what? It's almost similar to like what everybody does when the hot fighter comes out, they do their style. And you know, it was the Philly shell. And then when Foreman had the crossing of the arms, it was that. And then it was the Holyfield, the way he had his hand always here. Then it was Floyd Mayweather with the mitts, the punching with the mitts. They mimic it for a while, and now Mike Tyson coming back, his style, that's the new hot thing. It's incredibly difficult to do. You have to do that from day one. Now, we had a kid at the gym. I forget his name. He was from Williamsport, actually. And he can do that style pretty good. He actually could do it pretty good because he's been doing it since he was a kid. I don't know where he is now. But he did that very well. But it's so difficult to do that style. It's hard to. You have to have a style and come up with your own style and use that style. Stay with that style, perfect that style, and you'll do a better job that way. It just will be that better way.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if you have any tips or pointers on that. I don't know.
I would just say, you said, there's only one Tyson, and to be honest with you, I don't even think anybody does it anymore.
Well, I'm saying, would you persuade someone not to do that?
Yeah, I would definitely do that, and you have to see what type of person he is, what type of the length and all that. You know how much he weighs, if he can move. Some people are flat-footed, some people don't have head movement. So it's all of how your body is formed, and then seeing you hitting the mitts and hitting the bags, and then we can form something.
I always took it with what I had is like, okay, I'll take what you have your best of, and I'll improve that.
Yeah,
because I'm not going to change. Look, the second one of these kids gets hit, it's all out the window anyway.
Yeah.
It's all out the window. Now, if you have a professional that has his own style, that's a different ballgame. Chris had a style. This is how he fought. He was more of a counter puncher, and he'd wait.
But how long did he do that? He did it for years.
Since he was a kid.
Yeah. Since he was a kid. So that's the thing.
I can only take what he had, get him in better shape, and improve a little bit, not much, because he couldn't really move his head much. He couldn't really do it. He was more of a counter puncher. The problem with being a counter puncher, he couldn't punch.
Yep.
Those guys would walk through his punches, so it didn't matter if the guy hit you flush. You have a problem. That guy's coming towards you. You're a counter puncher, but if you can't hurt him, he's still going to come forward. You got to be able to stop him. When you're a counter puncher, you got to put that punch in there and make him stop. That was a good question by Kevin. That was actually
so Custom Model is the one who taught that, correct?
Custom Model did. It was
so that Floyd Patterson and Jose Torres were the ones.
Yep. Jose Torres was and
Floyd Patterson
did it. Again, Floyd Patterson successful, small heavyweight, can move his head. Jose Torres, lightweight, could move his head, very slick. But
again, nowadays, all the biggest and just imagine. I was telling George about this the other day. Just imagine if LeBron James was a boxer, 6'8", 230. His reach is like 85 inches. That's ridiculous. All the best sports, like the athletes, are in different sports. All the best athletes are in different sports. Basketball, football, so it's just a little different where going back to where we were, 2 days ago, we had that question about the state of boxing. That's where a lot of it is too. They're going to different sports. Why would you want to get your head punched in?
Well, one of the things that I was saying is one of the best fighters I saw, I didn't see him fight per se, but I saw him training, was Lennox Lewis. And the Poconos were Chris, and Chris was sparring Aaron Superman Davis. I never saw someone that fast, that big. That's the difference. That's the big difference right there. You see how fast he is. You look at LeBron James. If you take LeBron James and put him there, obviously Lennox Lewis didn't have the chin. That's what caused his problems. But he used what he had, and Emmanuel Stewart took that jab, took that right hand, and put it together, and made him a great fighter. He was a great fighter. But I'd never seen someone that fast, that big, ever.
And I remember you did say that. You said when he was hit, you were like, "Wow."
I mean, it's fast. It's like seeing like a You were just the guy Jones from Kansas City.
Oh yeah, Chris Jones.
So, when you see how big he is, how fast he is, you're like, holy crap! Could you imagine that guy hitting you?
They were talking about what it was like 6'4", 380. The guy was doing backflips.
But doing backflips, I'm like, my God, like just getting hit by that. So I look at that as if you have those attributes, you want to use them.
Yep.
So hone in on that. Don't try to do a peekaboo style if you can't do it. Don't just.
Well, what other styles are there in boxing?
Well, you have also the Philly shell, which is very successful. You have the Mexican style, which they're coming forward with their hands up, hands up there. They're walking you down. They're doing that.
Okay.
Arturo Gatti does more of the Philly shell a little bit, where your hands down here, your one hand. It's what Floyd Mayweather does. That was taken from Philly. He put the Midwest twist on it, where he rolls a little bit more than the Philly style. They do the crab where your hands are here. That's the Archie Moore style. He does that. Just conventional. They're southpaw. But
which one did you use all the time?
I liked my hand here. I like my hand here.
Okay.
And I can do it now. Now, as I'm getting older, I use more of a Philly shell because my hand is here. Anytime I get punched, I just roll that shoulder, comes right over the top. Doesn't hit you much on the chin. I barely get hit on the chin. And then when someone's jabbing at me, I could just catch their jab here. I stop it right here. So once they hit it here, I go over the top and I'll put this down a little bit. So when my hand's here and their jab is coming, I could push that jab down and hit with a right hand over the top.
And that was also Holyfield used to do that a lot.
Holyfield had it here, and he would just always do that.
And he would go down and go over.
Boom, and over the top, right, with his punch, with his right hand. What I like to do sometimes, too, is catch that jab here and come back with the jab myself. So he's already coming in, catch it here, so he's coming forward, bang, hit him again with the jab. So that's always what I like to do. And like we were talking about taller fighters are leaning in towards me. So I like that. They're coming in because they're trying to pull that jab in. I catch it, jab, or catch it right hand over the top of that jab. And it always worked. And I did it with Sean. I showed that video. As he was coming in, I knew I could catch it here and go right over the top. And then he switched to conventional. And that was better for me because now his punch was he was closer to me, as opposed to when he was going southpaw, I'd have to reach with the right hand. But now he's close to me. So now boom, boom. Now I'm just hitting him with that, catching it here, going with the right hand, going with my jab, catching here right over the top with the right hand. That was easy, and he shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake he made in the third round. He when he was coming forward, he switched. He went conventional as opposed to southpaw. If he would have stayed southpaw, I would have had to use my right hand. But he switched. And remember,
that's what Cotto used to do too. Cotto used to switch.
Cotto in between punches. He did that in between punches. He'd be 1, 2, 1. So you're going hitting 1, 2. You're thinking, okay, he's coming back with either a hook or something, and then his jab's coming right at you. So it's boom, boom, boom. That's hard. That's hard to defend because you don't know where that punch is coming from. You're thinking, okay, the hook's coming from out here. That jab's coming straight. That is a very difficult punch. And Cotto did it well.
He did. His angles were good too.
Very good angles, and he would always move. And remember how he was always get by those ropes, even on those ropes where you think he was hurt. He'd put his ass on the ropes and bounce off those ropes.
It's like he's sitting on the ropes.
Yeah, and you can't. He has that balance and that spring. It's hard to hit him that way. He was very good at that. Extremely good at that.
Wow, that's excellent.
Mayweather, Jay-Z. You should watch if you haven't watched it yet. But Canelo versus Mayweather, and the way he was doing the shell, but coming right back with the counter right hand. He would catch it and then come right back so quick. It was like a snake. Bam, bam. And he picked Canelo apart.
Yeah, that showed that. If you watch that fight, that'll show you the gap, how much Canelo's closed that gap, and what he learned from that fight. He, going into that fight, 23 years old, I think he was.
22, 23, yeah.
Okay, now he's 33. Look at the difference. Huge difference. There was a guy, well, then again, Floyd was the top. He was the top of his game.
But he was the only fighter that after they fought Floyd, because he was so young, didn't get worse. Because everybody that fought Floyd would get worse.
Yeah.
Floyd would take stuff out of him.
Well, Cotto did all right.
Yeah, it was his hardest fight. He said one of them.
Yeah, Cotto did okay. He did win. I think he won a title, 2 titles after that. So I think he did okay. I was impressed with him too.
There was one other question too that was pretty interesting. It said, and it was asking to Coach Diz and George, at what age do boxers start to decline, and can a certain fight make you decline quicker?
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
I mean, we always talk about how many punches you have in your punch card. There's, it all depends on the person. There's what fight did I watch? I think the Mickey Ward and Gotti fight, that took some out of Gotti. You know, there is times where if you just get poundings and poundings and poundings, I mean, it will just break you down.
As far as declining, fighters nowadays aren't on the decline as much later in their career if they haven't taken taken a lot of punishment, because of technology, medical, recovery. The money's much bigger, so they don't have to get another job. Okay, so that is on that end. The fights where you're in, where it's give and take, those fights take a lot out of you. It doesn't matter who you are. I think I look at Triple G. I think a lot of that's why I went with Charlo, because I thought those fights took a lot out of him. Then he fought Bivol, and I'm thinking, man, this guy's fighting a guy 175 pounding on you. That has to take more out of you. That's why I lean towards that. But you look at these guys, there are certain fights that there was a piece of them left in that ring. Meldrick Taylor, Chavez, that fight destroyed his career.
Correct.
Meldrick Taylor was a fighter who had unbelievable skill. He had unbelievable talent. He had everything in the world. Everything. That one fight took and it was, what it was funny? They were winning. He was winning to the last 8, 9, 10, and then the accumulation for the punches from round 1 caught up with him. And I could always remember the first time I ever realized that working the body actually works. I boxed the guy, Eric the G-Man Garland, in Hackensack, and we were sparring. We did 10 rounds. And the guy said, this guy's a pro. And I'm thinking, oh, and he wasn't doing anything. He was so good, I would throw a punch, he'd catch my jab under his arm. Catch on the arm, and he would just hit me. But he was hitting my body.
Was this at the Police Athletic League?
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
And he was hitting me at the body. And I'm thinking, that's not so bad. Round 4 or 5, I couldn't move. I'm like, shit, my body, my legs hurt. I couldn't move. And then he started really, really coming on. I'm like, well, that's why that guy's a pro.
Well, I got one fight that just really, Jermaine Taylor versus Kelly Pavlik.
That was another one. That's another one.
Pavlik was getting his rear end beaten, and then just over time,
yep.
And then he just hit him in the corner, and then bam. And that fight took a lot out of Jermaine Taylor.
And you could say the same. You could say the same for Kelly Pavlik, because Kelly Pavlik really wasn't the same. He started talking a little funny.
I think Bernard Hopkins took also from Trinidad.
Yeah, but that beating didn't do anything to him, I think. Like physically,
I think it did more mentally. But those physical fights that Jermaine Taylor, that's a perfect example. Yep. That was the beating of a lifetime. I mean, I'm talking beaten over a long time. Meldrick Taylor obviously is this poster boy for this guy should not be fighting anymore after one fight. That should be over. How about this one? Riddick Bowe, Andrew Galata. Yes.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
Look at him now. Yeah. Riddick Bowe can't talk.
Yep.
He's in a wheelchair. I saw him yesterday. On Ellie Seppak had it on. He was outside the Canelo fight, signing the autograph. Yeah, he was on that was one of the fights.
I loved him, man. He was such a great fighter.
If you look back at when he was fighting, how good he was, how big he was. Look at how big he is. That picture you sent me, if I could get that picture up of me and him.
You and Riddick Bowe?
Yeah. Do you see the size difference?
Yep, he's a big guy.
It's gigantic.
But imagine him in weight, like good weight, because he was down what? He was like what, 230, 220?
225.
They said he was lazy training though.
Lazy training, but that still didn't mean he couldn't fight.
Mm-hmm.
The guy could still fight. He could absolutely fight. And here's the other thing: for a big guy, he could fight inside.
And he can move.
Uppercuts, pow, pow, good uppercuts inside. Usually those big guys are clumsy. They hold you inside. Not Riddick Bowe. He'd let you shoot those uppercuts. Eddie Futch taught him real well.
One more. What about Michael Moore with Foreman?
Yeah, I don't know if I mean that was again more mentally than anything else. Michael Moore just didn't have a chin. He had zero chin.
And he was lazy too.
He was lazy. Teddy Atlas got on him about it, but I think he had zero chin. And that was a big problem. I think his pinnacle was when he beat Holyfield. I think Holyfield was coming down a little bit. Michael Moore coming up was hungry.
Holyfield, perfect example too.
Holyfield, same thing.
Those
the way
wars.
he talks. my God, you can't even. That's why I told you when I would love to have him on, but sitting there, what would you say to him? Like, I mean, I don't know if he'd be able to even talk to him. It's a crazy. A boxing is such a brutal sport. But then look at Jones's brother. Do you see that?
Yeah, John Jones's brother.
John Jones. What happened to him?
Something's wrong. Did you see
So
it, Jay-Z?
No.
You see that?
The Las Vegas Raiders?
He got nutty.
I don't know
He
what
got
happened.
really nutty. He really did. I was like, what is this guy
Then
talking
he started
about?
crying on live.
I thought it was a joke. I thought he was just being funny.
Like Oliver McCall crying in the ring.
Again, there's another one. Like, here's a guy who was Mike Tyson's sparring partner, and they said they used to have wars.
He used to get Mike Tyson.
I used to get him. What? And you notice what they did? He would take Mike Tyson's punches. You can't be. How many times can you take that kind of a punch? Can't do it. Can't do it and think you're going to stay in there.
Speaking of Mike Tyson, George, what's your opinion on Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury?
Oh my God! Jay-Z? Did you see that?
I heard about it. Yep.
He looks horrible.
He does.
Francis Ngannou looks horrible. Now, listen, I'm going to pick Tyson Fury. If I lose that bet, I'll never do a quick hits again. Okay? He looked horrible.
Yep.
I mean, he looked like some of the amateurs we have, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how
like,
bad.
and Tyson's trying to train him and stuff, and it's like,
that Tyson's there for nothing.
He's too big.
Tyson is there for nothing more than show.
Yep.
Tyson
and
is there for nothing more than show.
Media just to put on the show.
That is it. Nothing more than that.
It's so bad. They already signed Tyson Fury's next fight after.
Yeah. That has never happened. That's never happened. Well, anyway, that's never happened that it went well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He is, when I mean terrible, he is bad. Yep. Ngannou is going to get destroyed. Because you might say, well, the one punch that's going to land. I think Deontay Wilder punches harder than Ngannou.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's his frame. Deontay Wilder has that frame and the length.
He looked really bad. I mean, it was almost comical.
It's embarrassing, I think.
It is embarrassing. I think he'll go 4 rounds maybe, and then he'll just get tired, and that'll be the end of that. I mean, because there's no possible way.
He's not going to hit Tyson Fury. He's not.
No way. He's too good. Tyson Fury's too good. He don't look it, but he's on, and he's big.
Yeah,
he's bigger than Ngannou.
Yeah,
he's quick.
You know who else? Someone else we're talking about who I met actually, Tommy Morrison.
Oh, jeez.
That's another one.
Remember him? And I've met him at the Chiller a few times.
I think Ray Mercer took something out of him.
Did you wear gloves?
I just said hello, but I didn't shake his hand.
Good. Just get out of there.
But he was by himself most of the time.
Yeah.
Well, I would think I know why.
No one wanted to go near him.
No. I mean, he at the end, there was a video I saw. Nutty. Looked bad. Started saying all this crazy stuff. That the guy changed the blood work, and he gave blood work and gave the wrong blood work. The guy was losing it there toward the end. And God rest his soul. I don't want to talk bad on him, but he is another one. Like
that was one of the worst knockouts I've ever
brutal.
seen.
Ray Mercer?
Brutal.
Yes.
Ray Mercer's not. Oh my gosh.
Oof.
That was the worst. That was one of the worst I'd ever seen too. I mean, you can't say
and
anything.
He kept on hitting him, and his arms were up, and he was going back. Oh man,
it was brutal. That knockout. It was unbelievable that when that happened. He was
George. Who was the guy that got Tuesday night fights who bounced off the ropes?
Kenny Butts. Kenny Butts. Yeah. He was from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He got hit so hard, his head bounced off the ropes twice. It was hilarious.
He went off the middle rope and then the last rope.
Yes. And you, milk came out your nose. It was so funny. You were laughing so hard. Yeah, I remember it. It was like 2 a.m. We were watching it. Yep. Tuesday night fights. Sean O'Grady and the other guy.
Oh, something just happened.
Whoa, hello.
You having the clips over there?
Whoa.
Wait, something just happened. The lights just went out.
Okay. All right. Kenny Butts.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh, all right. We're gonna wrap this up. It's
Yep.
an hour and 3 minutes. We went there.
Wow.
Holy cow! And I got to make a delivery.
All
But
right.
either way, next thing's coming up. Jay-Z, what do we got?
Well, I'll be up there with Rita to be there with the book signing with you.
October 14th, the book signing. We're looking forward to it. The responses of over 16,000 views,
Crazy.
going crazy there on our YouTube channel.
You're expecting a lot of people at the bagel store?
I am. I actually am. I don't know what the outcome will be, but it'll be a lot of people there. The response. Well, 16,000 views, Jay-Z.
Yeah, I expect a lot of people to be there too from this area going down there.
Yeah,
Really?
there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Coach Diz, when's the next time you'll be in the area?
I think I might meet you tomorrow at Lime a little bit.
Yeah, we'll be there a little bit. We have a issue going on with one of our delivery guys, so we'll be doing that quite often, I think, in the next couple of weeks. And we're going to make some decisions on our business, what we're doing on the bagel end, doing some different things. But till then, I will see you guys. Coach Diz, Jersey Jay-Z with the SD Special Delivery Jones. Diz is frozen. You guys are crazy. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.